Wife of the party this week is with Romi Cortier. He was here, I guess, several months ago. We talked about Romi Cortier finding his dad on 23andMe and Ancestry.com and meeting with his dad and his whole family he has in Ohio that he didn't know he had. And I wanted to follow up with him because his dad just came to visit, his dad and his dad's wife. And it was wonderful. So I asked him lots of questions about how he feels now, about the trip. We talked about love. We talked about genetics. We talked about family. We talked about art. He's now an elected official. I'm going to screw up what his elected official title is, so he'll say that in the episode. You'll have to watch the episode to find out. But yeah, we talked about being an elected official. And we just talked like we talk when I go to the salon and he cuts my hair. Romi's one of the loveliest people on the planet. He is so giving and caring and just gracious and glamorous and wonderful. So I enjoyed this conversation so much. I hope you enjoy it too with my really good dear friend Romi Cortier.
In case I get a shoe shot, I'm wearing the good shoes. So.
You're wearing great shoes. They're gorgeous.
My birthday shoes.
Are they?
Yeah.
From this past birthday in June?
Yeah.
Well, I can see the bottom has been worn, so you must be wearing them.
I did, just a little bit.
They're
just
great.
All over Paris.
Did you get them in Europe?
I bought them in Glendale at the Gucci store.
No way.
Yeah.
And then took them to Europe?
Took them to Europe for the birthday dinner and also for the cruise on the ship on the Seine. So
how was the cruise?
It was really, really nice. It was, we had beautiful weather. The sunsets were really gorgeous. But the weird thing is, I took the cruise hoping that I could watch the sunset, and it was setting so late that it was all light. Because when you go into the bridges that are lit up there on the dinner cruise, you want to see everything lit because it's a city of lights. But it was like sun. So it was a little bright, but it was great. It
was great. Yeah. And you went for your can I say it?
Yes, you can say it.
For your 60th birthday?
My 60th birthday.
You do not look 60.
Thank God. I'm got the good Italian skin.
I know. You do not act 60.
Let's hope not.
You do not look or act 60. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you went with your sisters?
Yeah, my sisters joined me. It was a 10-day trip. So we started 3 days Versailles. So Rico came and joined me for 2 nights there. My cousin from San Clemente, because I had the big dinner birthday to celebrate the birthday on the 3rd of June, which is my birthday, is the 4th. So, so we had 10 people there for dinner. My cousin from San Clemente, who introduced me to my dad. And then also my friends from Fiji, Natalie and the kids, and my client from Texas, Terry. So we had dinner at the Gordon Ramsay restaurant. It was very bougie. The one time in my life I've had dinner at a Michelin star restaurant. So it was worth the effort. It was great.
Michelin star restaurants are crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've been to one.
Yes.
I went to one in Vietnam.
Uh-huh.
And it was great.
Well, I didn't notice it, but my sister noticed. She's like, "Did you notice how they all bring everything to the table and they set it down in unison, like the whole presentation? It's a part of it's the presentation, and it was I think 8 or 9 courses, wine pairings. I mean, we did it up. So
that's great.
It was really cool.
You deserved it.
Yeah, thank you.
So last time you were here, we talked about how you found your dad, which was a crazy story.
Yeah.
So let's do a little mini recap.
Okay.
How did you find your dad?
So it was through Ancestry.com.
Okay.
When I knew that he might be my dad, but I didn't know for sure until I saw the DNA test on 23andMe, and then jumped onto Ancestry and found cousins through Ancestry with the last name of Dugan. And through there found my cousin, or she found me, with the latest DNA match that popped up locally. And she figured out what was going on, so she introduced me to my dad. And I flew out there last year on my birthday, for my 59th birthday. I met my dad in the hospital on my birthday, and he's doing great now. So, yeah, that was how it all began.
That's how it all began. And then this year. So wait, how has the time been since we talked last? We'll start with that, and then we'll talk about what just happened.
Sounds good. Well, I went out there in October with my sisters that I grew up with to meet the new sisters that I just met, because I've got 5 sisters now. So I got a great photograph of all my sisters and I together. That's a really cute selfie. And they got to meet my aunts and uncles out there. I meet my dad and stuff too. And that was a beautiful experience. I can tell you a lot more about that as well if you want me to elaborate. But also, I went back in for Christmas and spent my first Christmas back there with my dad and stuff also. And then he came out here to visit just about a month ago.
He came out a month ago.
Yeah. So
that's so crazy.
It was really cool. everybody got along beautifully, and it's a big adjustment for my sisters in Seattle because we were sort of raised without a present dad. I mean, the guy that was there wasn't great. So, Tom, my dad, has said to my sisters that he would be happy to adopt him, in
Aw.
spirit, because they sort of felt like they missed out on a dad experience. So it's been really lovely and charming, and the warmth has been really amazing and
He
stuff.
sounds like a lovely person.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
And I think I may have shown you the photograph of us standing beside the truck. We took him on a little road trip, kind of kidnapped him for a day, and took him up to Franklin, Pennsylvania, which is where the father of my sisters was from also. And we had gone there when we were kids, when we were 9. So the hope was maybe we'll have more memories that will be jarred by going to Franklin and looking around. Nothing really happened that way, but at least we got Dad in the truck, and he was telling us about where he used to golf, and he was very, very. It was a lot of fun, and my sisters in the back seat going, "Oh my God, look at their ears! Oh my God, look at," and they could see all the ways that we looked alike and stuff, which was really cute because I can have that perspective. And then when we were stopping to go use the restrooms, we were outside the truck, me and him waiting for my sisters, and they took a picture. And when I looked at the picture, I'm like, "Oh my God, the body language, the tilt, our size, everything is just like I'm a mini me." So it was really cool. So
How
it's fun.
crazy.
Yeah.
What did that make you feel? Or did that shift anything inside you, or
Well,
how did that affect you?
it actually has affected me a lot. There's the initial like getting splashed with water, but then there's the like letting it seep in and stuff. And I feel like energetically I'm on solid footing. I always knew the female side of the family, but now to know the male side of the family, it's not a theory, but it's a reality. So I feel really grounded. I feel really solid. I feel more relaxed in my skin
Mm,
because there's not that aching question, who's my dad really? It's never in the back of my mind eating at me. So um, that's been taken care of, and I just feel like I can sort of move forward to embrace new things. So, like being a politician.
right? That's so crazy
Yeah.
that, I guess, I wonder, did you not know something was missing until you found it? Or did you always know something was missing?
I think it was just the big question mark.
Mm,
And I like to know where things stand.
hmm
So for me, I think it was, it didn't bother my day to day life, but it was always sort of there sometimes.
hmm
And once I actually knew, it was like, okay, I can put that to rest,
Right.
and I don't have to use that energy to wonder because, there's a timeline. If I'm 60, my dad's going to be 80. How much time have I got left if I can find this man?
Right.
So yeah, so it has been comforting and reassuring in a way that sort of surprised me because I didn't expect it to change me that much. But
Right.
yeah,
But do you feel like it changed you kind
I
of profoundly?
yeah, kind of in a sense of solidity,
Uh-huh.
knowing more who I am, where I come from, and to see how much I look like my uncle, or to see how much I look like my dad in certain situations. Whereas before, I always felt like the odd man out in family photos and stuff. To see where I belong, it's just been really really nice.
That's so great.
You know,
And
so
everything's still good with his kids, and
yeah.
everything's
Yeah, it's so funny to have these women text me and say, "Hey, brother, blah blah blah." I'm like, "That's right. I'm their brother. I'm their brother." You know what I mean? It's just it's a really fun gift to get to sort of move into and step into.
that's so great.
Yeah.
So he and his wife and their caregiver
Yes.
came to visit. What was that like?
It was great. It was really great. It started with a phone call from my dad back in April saying he wanted to come to California to visit. Now, keep in mind, he hasn't been here since 1965 when he came back from Vietnam, and he was stationed in San Diego. So I was like kind of shocked. I was like, oh, he wants to come visit me in California. Well, he just wants to come, see the base. I get it. It's cool. And so I didn't think much about it. I said, well, maybe in the fall we can do it because I've got some stuff going on. And I didn't realize how serious they were about it. And then his wife, or Joanne, Mama Joe is what we call her. Joanne reached out to me and she said, she's like, yeah, we're thinking about maybe coming in May or June. And I was like, wait, oh, okay, you're serious about this. So that's what happened. We started talking and we set it up for the end of June because they had the trip to Paris in early June. And Joanne probably won't have a lot of plane rides in her future. I think her time is limited for her mobility. And there were times where I could see that maybe she wanted to back out and she just wanted to make sure my dad came for that experience. And I was like, no, if he's coming, you're coming.
Right.
So I got them on the plane and I said, if I have to hire a caretaker to help you here, we'll do that. It's not a big deal because I want her to experience California with him.
Right.
And so she said, well, how about my caretaker? I said, bring her along. So they scheduled it, brought the caretaker. We put him up at a hotel on Wilshire Boulevard. And every day, you know me, so I had a list. So we marched him through everything. So it was really a lot of fun.
Aw.
But it was neat for him to get to meet my friends and stuff also.
I bet.
So one of my friends suggested that we have a dinner and that maybe we could all just like chat and hang out a little bit. So we did that at the Formosa Cafe.
Oh, great.
And it was really cute. I had all this, beautiful, lovely women in their 50s and 60s. And I think he liked being around all these lovely people. And by the time the third gal sat next to him, he was like, get the camera, take a picture. I'm like, I got you. I got you covered, So it was really cute.
That's adorable.
So, yeah.
Aw.
But it was really sweet. So
I was happy to see your world.
yeah, I think so. And then took him to the salon, did his wife's hair, did Joanne's hair, and the caretaker helped her a little bit, Michelle. So it was just nice for them to share a little bit of what the Romi world is like in California. You see it on social media, but it's a lot of work,
Yeah, totally.
You make it look easy, but it's not.
Did you pick him up in the Rolls Royce?
We did.
You did at the airport? Oh my God, did they die?
Yeah, it was pretty. They were pretty giddy. I didn't want to take the car there because the airport is LAX is a nightmare. But I didn't know if they were going to have walkers to put in the car, and I needed the trunk space with that and my Jaguar, the SUV. So me and Rico trailed out there together in tandem, and but because the car is so special with it being black and cream, and it's so old world cool, people kind of made room. It was like they could sense something special was happening. So
Aww.
it was cool. So the look on their face and everybody when the cars pulled up was kind of gangster.
That was super gangster. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So
Do you
it was
have?
nice.
Did you post any of that on social media?
I did post some of it, yeah.
I am so sorry. That was in the middle of Fully Loaded for us, so I was completely
Oh.
out to lunch on
Yeah.
social media. I don't even think I logged on or looked at Instagram for a full month.
Oh my God. I believe
So,
it. You guys were,
I'll have
that
to
was
go back and
a
look.
heavy lift for you
It
guys.
was intense.
I was watching it through social media and stuff also.
It was awesome.
And then you ended up in my neck of the woods up in
At the Gorge.
The Gorge in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful up there.
It was so beautiful. It was
Yeah.
crazy beautiful.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when they left?
Kind of relaxed, glad. It takes a while to process it all. But I was so thrilled that they got to have a really good experience,
That's good.
I mean, I really wanted to show them a great vacation. So we went to Malibu, went to my cousin's house in San Clemente who introduced us.
Mhm.
And I just felt like I gave them a really good chapter in their life.
That's great.
So it was important for me to show them the best that I could show them, give them the best experience I could. So
Did you go to San Diego?
we didn't do that.
No.
It was too much. And I think
Yeah.
because of the hotel and needing the ADA room and all that, and it's a long drive. I think
Yeah.
if we can do it again, maybe Dad will fly into San Diego and we could start there and move our way up to LA or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, with all the paraphernalia it takes, with walkers and wheelchairs and stuff, it's better to try and keep it as simple as you can, one event a day.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
But I think we'll get there. So
You
yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
San Diego's a nice town.
It really has grown so much.
Hasn't it? It's totally different from when I first moved here 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like in the last 5 years with all the high rises downtown. But also, Dad hasn't been there since they built the bridge to Coronado Island. In 65, when he came back from Vietnam, that bridge wasn't there. So he wanted to like go see the base down there and see the bridge and all that. Something we take for granted his daily life.
That's crazy. How would
So-
people get to Coronado?
I think
On
it was
a
by
boat?
ferry.
Probably a ferry, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So pretty, Coronado.
Yeah, it really is.
All those older homes. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you got to do that. When are you going to see them again?
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm sort of just leaving that open. I'm taking a breather from the travel because between Paris and Dad being here and work and stuff and this election that came up,
Yep.
I'm just a little exhausted, a little overwhelmed. So I just want to sort of settle for a little bit. And there's a hope that maybe Rick and I will move into this new apartment that we've had our eye on for a while too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a beautiful little penthouse apartment on Burton Way. So it's like
Ooh.
my dream space. 1,600 square feet, 2 stories, lots of wall space for the artwork. Rooftop deck that's private. So
It's like where you lived when I managed apartment building.
I know, right?
Right?
Right back to Detroit. So
How
yeah.
funny. So is it really like a similar setup to that?
It is. It's a little bit bigger, 1,600 square
Yeah.
feet. So it's larger, but the 2 stories for the wall space for the artwork would be really great.
That would be awesome.
And they've got plenty of room for all the cars. I know that sounds weird to say, but parking's an issue if you're renting here in the town and stuff,
Right.
in LA and stuff. So
I hope you get it. When will
Yeah.
you know?
it's month to month. The gal that lives there has had health issues and she's moved out, and the family's trying to decide at what point they're going to officially move her out and give notice.
Right.
So she's just been, her stuff is still there. They showed us the apartment and we're on a list. I think we're at the top of the list, but you never really know.
Oh,
And I've taken a few bottles of wine.
I was
I'm
going
trying
to
to
say, I bet you know how to get to the top of the list. I bet you do.
Yeah, we try.
You're a charming fella.
Well, and I'm like, I keep in touch with the manager and just make sure everything's going well. So
That's right. So, can you talk about your elected
I think so.
position?
I believe so. So I'm now the business representative for the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council.
Okay.
So that is an election. I actually had to compete, put out little flyers and door knock and stuff, but it's only for business owners that are in the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council. So only they can vote, not the homeowners. So my clients who might have normally voted for me couldn't unless they had a business. So therefore, it's a small number of people who vote, but I beat the incumbent by, he'd been there for like 6 years. And the location is from Melrose to Olympic, La Brea to Western. So it's a big area.
Yeah, that's really
and
big.
we're one of 99 neighborhood councils.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so and then they report to the city council. So I've never had a clue about local government and wasn't my thing. But one of the guys at the salon who's a client actually had a flyer for it because he's the president. He goes, "You should run for this. I saw the letter that you wrote to Nathan Ramon regarding the homeless." And I was like, it was very eloquent and very succinct, but made points kindly. And so he's like, "You've got a great voice. You should think about running." And I was like, "Okay." And my client, Leela, was in my chair. She's a therapist. She goes, "Yeah, Romi, you'd be good at this." I said, "If you believe it, I'll do it." I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So I threw my hat in the ring just like that and started campaigning. And lo and behold, I took the title. So
how crazy that you didn't
Yeah.
really put a lot of thought into jumping into something like that.
Yeah. I feel like Larchmont's been really good to me, so I want to give back to the community. I've been there
Right.
22 years, and you've seen the salon grow. You've seen the experience there grow. So, and sometimes I complain about stuff, and I thought it's better to put up than or shut up. Get in there and make a difference, or just take it as it is. So,
Right. What
Yeah.
do you want to change?
I think part of it for me is learning how things work in this system. I know that there are multiple committees you have to commit to, like a transportation committee, land use. And I'm really curious about land use and how they're going to develop the buildings around us. And I'm also interested in parking and how parking restrictions happen and things like that. So I still have a lot to learn. At the next meeting next week, we'll go over these other committees. We had to stop midway. When I just got sworn in 2 weeks ago.
My gosh.
So it's still a big learning curve for me, but we'll see where it takes me. Who knows?
So then what do you do? Because I'm so bad. What do you're learning about these two committees that you're on specifically?
Well, that I want to be on. There's actually
you wanna
9
be on.
committees to choose from.
Oh,
But as a representative, I have to at least choose 2 to participate, which means, I don't know, having meetings and making decisions about things and educating yourself about that specific thing. One is like an outreach to the elderly, I believe. There's a social media thing. So again, we haven't covered what those duties are yet. And we didn't cover it in the last meeting. We'll cover it in the next one. And but also because of that, I got asked to join the Larchmont Boulevard Association. They had seen my online, if you will, speech or presentation via video as a candidate. So they're like, they asked me to join, and it's strictly for businesses on Larchmont. So I jumped into that 3 months ago, and I'm one of 14 board members. And so with that, I'm actually helping rebuild their website, helping try and get clear on the brand, trying to present the board in a new, fresh light, because the current website looks like Tijuana 1969. You've
oh my
got-
God.
the boulevard is like street musicians, chihuahuas, and vegetables. I'm like, this is not the spirit of Larchmont. I'm like, come on, we can do better than this, y'all. So that's what I'm spearheading right now. But they have big events around town like the Family Fair and all that, which comes up in October. So I'm working with my other members, and we meet monthly, and then we have more organization to make stuff happen. So it's a lot of work.
It sounds like
a lot of work. Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
So then how do you liaison with the city council? How do you
So when we had a mixer in May, we invited Hugo Soto Martinez, who is the CD13 representative. So he came to that event and will hopefully come to our next mixer tomorrow. And the idea is you sort of hopefully have a fast track to that representative. So when you want to learn how things work, or if you even want to get access to maybe something with parking, I want to get the meters fixed that are broken. I want to have the curbs repainted, and that has to do with the traffic committee and stuff. So again, I'm real green at this. I'm just learning. I'm catching things here and there. So build relationships. Hopefully they'll think of you and help you get these things done, because it all takes money,
Yeah.
and the cities are all broke, it seems like, and but we'll find a way to make it happen. So
They all say they're broke.
I know.
Don't they?
But-
I pay a lot in city tax.
I bet you
We
do.
pay a lot in city tax, and
Yeah.
we are not the biggest earners in the city. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds really ignorant. It's a huge city,
Yeah.
but yeah, they always talk poor, don't they?
Yes.
No money for potholes.
And I know. And I just learned about the Business Improvement District, the bid. So there's like a Larchmont bid. So again, who's funding the bid? Why isn't there money in there? Is it because the parking meters they're broken? Is that where the money comes from? A lot to learn. So
Where does the money come from? Do you know yet?
I don't. I think sometimes they actually the city council earmarks certain money for neighborhoods. Like I'd heard a rumor that it was like $10,000 per neighborhood, and then they've reduced it. But hopefully we can get that money back because that way each neighborhood can utilize it to best beautify their neighborhood and stuff. So
Where does parking meter money go?
I don't know because I thought that was privately run. So does it go to the city or does it go to a private entity? It has to go to the city.
I would imagine the city owns the street.
Yeah.
The city's charging for parking. Maybe a private entity maintains for a percentage, but
Yeah. Maybe I'll have an answer next year when I come back.
there you go. Please. Or next time I'm in your chair when you're doing
Right?
my hair. By the way, for Bert's Comedian of the Year award, I had the best hair and makeup person I've ever had.
Fabulous.
His name was Steve.
Uh-huh.
And he was amazing. And as he was doing my hair, he kept going, love this color.
Oh, really?
This color in your hair it's just perfect. It's just great color. You keep working and you go, this is a really good cut. Who does your hair? And I was like, oh my God, Romi, he's been doing it for me for 25, 28 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He's the only person that makes my hair look full
Yeah.
and have movement and look good. And he was like, well, don't ever leave this guy.
Oh, that's
because
so sweet.
he's great. He knows what he's doing. So you got mad compliments from
That's
Steve.
neat. Is he a full-time hairdresser or just like a stylist for events?
He does hair and makeup for celebrities, even though I'm not really a celebrity.
Oh, I think
He
you are now,
does
Leanne. You're moving
people-
into a whole new world.
No, I know hardly. But he kept telling me that he let's see, he lived in he's from Montreal, but
Okay.
he lived in Miami for a long time and did hair and makeup in Miami.
Okay.
And then moved to LA and was here for like 15 years, I think he said. But when the pandemic came, he went back to Montreal to be close to family
Oh,
and
okay.
decided to stay. He just
Okay.
got himself kind of reestablished in Montreal.
Well, and that's the thing. I
stay.
mean, LA is a tough market
Mm-hmm.
with all the celebrities here and stuff. So, and you have to be able to work on a lot of different kinds of hair to do that work.
Yeah.
There's a name for it, and they usually belong to an agency, and they get sent out for photo shoots or events. So it's nice that you had a seasoned guy because you looked like the best you've ever looked. I mean,
Ever.
your skin was glowing, your hair was beautiful.
Ever.
I love the white jacket with the dress and
Thank
stuff.
you. I know. I was like, when he was done with my makeup, I physically felt like I had no makeup on.
Wow.
And he was like, you don't need eyelashes. You just
Okay.
need to curl them. He was like, we could put eyelashes on you, but then you're not going to look really like you.
Yeah.
So just curl them and just do this. And he literally, I think he painted each individual. He took forever on my little eyelashes. He really knew what he was doing.
Like he drew with like a liner to make it look like a lash? No, he actually painted
no,
on
he
each-
just like when he was using the
Oh.
brush, he did every single lash
Got it.
on. He didn't do the like.
Yeah.
He did each lash individually, and I was like, I gotta find out what kind of makeup he used because I didn't even look like I had makeup on.
Well, there was a trick in high school that this one girl used to do, and she used the Great Lash Mascara or whatever. I think it was the pink one because it was water soluble. So she'd put a little bit on her lashes and take a wet toothbrush, and then she'd comb through the wet toothbrush so no lumps, and it would just make it thin and long.
Wow,
So just a little trick next time,
that was smart.
right?
I'll have to steal that. I know all that he used on my face for like foundation was all NARS.
Oh yeah,
And so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, I'm going to go to the NARS counter and just go hook me up because everything else I use, it gets all in my fine lines.
Oh
And
yeah.
you can just see all my fine lines. I had no lines from this guy because he just dabbed, just
Wow.
lightly.
Was it a cream base? It must have been. Yeah.
It was a cream.
Yeah, because sometimes it can settle in your lines and make you look older than you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I have never looked this good in my life. Bert was like, he did your hair and makeup so good. I will fly him to LA next time you
That's
need this
awesome.
done because that was amazing.
That's
Because
great.
I I liked my hair and makeup for the premiere, but I did feel very heavy. I felt
it.
very made up.
Okay.
And I didn't feel made up at all. I felt like I looked like myself.
And tell me about the dress. So did you end up wearing the dress we talked about? But you had a jacket over it because I know that there were different dresses we were looking at.
I did end up wearing the dress with the holes in the.
Okay.
It was had a tie around the neck, kind of strapless.
But
dress.
it was higher waisted, so it made you look a little bit taller.
It was higher waisted
because the way you turned in the photo, I couldn't quite tell.
Yes.
But then you chose a white jacket to go over top of it.
I did not. I can't take credit for that. You know, this is what I'm good at, Romi. In this room, I can do the wallpaper and the couch, and I'm done. I'm like, I have no idea what kind of curtain, rug, side table, stuff to put on the table. Have no idea. I'm really good at the big, broad strokes.
Okay.
Details, I am out to lunch. So I picked the dress, and I thought I might be good with my shoes. And then I was done. And then I was like, this is not a finished look.
It was needing something.
Like, this is not finished. I look like I'm going to like a garden party. So I sent a picture to Cotty, to Bert's sister. And I said, what does this need? And she went, oh, you need this and this and this and this, and I have it. So I'm just going to drop it off. So she had that jacket. She had the little Prada bag. She approved, and she dropped off a different shoe option.
Okay.
She was like, either shoe, but just so you have another option. And then I showed her the earrings, and she went, yep, that's it.
And the jacket, it was collarless, wasn't it? It was just like a jacket without a collar or lapel.
It was actually a cape.
Oh, was it really?
It was a tailored cape.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
And especially because it felt summery because of the fabric and the white. And I don't know if it was linen or what it was, but with you and Bert paired together, it was perfect.
It was. Well, Cotty did it. And it was from Zara.
I love Zara.
It's a Zara. It's a cape. It's a tailored cape. And it fits me so well. I bought myself one.
Good.
I was like, I will wear that.
That's awesome.
Because it just elevated. And it was $40. You know, it wasn't like.
I love Zara.
It's like
shop
$40.
there a lot.
I love Zara too. Yeah.
If you're in Europe, you need to go to Zara also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they have different products.
Do they?
And so it's a whole different line, and it's the same price point.
Wow.
So my sister when we were in Paris, we went to a Zara there, and I got my sister to buy this cute little $15 shirt that's kind of sheer, and it's all these bright pastels, and it looks like it could be like some Gucci top for $1,500. And I'm like, just try it on. Oh well, I'm just for $15, try it on. And she's like, so she took it. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But Enrico had bought a jacket at Zara in Florence 4 years ago on our honeymoon. White corduroy, gorgeous. And the dry cleaners had a pen that broke and got on the jacket. And they were trying to replace it. And they found out that they never came to America with that jacket. They were only produced in Italy. So they couldn't replace it. They got the stain out good enough. But the point is, shop Zara overseas because it's a whole other line of product.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I bet it's a little different from in regions of the U.S. too.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet it is.
That's true.
Because you know what? Isla and I were in Arizona looking at college, and she wanted to shop, and it was so hot. She just wanted to go to the mall and shop. So we went to Dillard's.
I've heard of that.
Dillard's is a Southern department store. And I walked in, and Isla goes, "Oh, Mom, this is your store." I bought 3 pairs of shoes. I bought like all this stuff because it's like, it's a lot of color.
Okay.
And LA is not known to have a lot of color. There's just white, black, gray, beige, cream, just kind of basic neutrals, and Dillard's is like color and ruffles and fluff. And I'm not that per se, but I'm like wearing this pink top.
Yeah.
I'd much rather wear something that had color in it. And then literally I could have walked out with 5 or 6 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
But I kept going, those are you and those are you. And I've never seen those shoes. And they were Sam Edelman is the name brand, which I've seen.
Sounds like an agent in
here,
LA.
Right? I see that name brand of shoe here, but I've not seen those shoe styles here.
Oh, did you try Googling or go to the website to see what they might have?
You mean since I left there?
Yeah.
To keep shopping?
Or to see if the selection is what you saw in the store or to see if it's different?
Do you mean to Sam Edelman's website? I haven't.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
I'd just be curious.
I'd be curious too.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, that is curious. But I was in Dillard's going, oh yeah, I could do some damage in here. And then you just can't find that stuff.
I was in San Antonio 2 years ago. We went into Banana Republic, which you can always find like a nice navy something, right? Because for a guy like me, navy's the thing. not a stitch of fabric in navy. It was all browns, and it was a whole different color palette. I was like, are you kidding me? It's like navy's a staple of every conservative kind of mellow store. All chocolate brown, gray, black, no navy.
Isn't that crazy?
Regional shopping, you know.
It's regional shopping. It's really crazy. So yeah, I don't know how we got on that, but yeah, Zara. That Zara jacket, I think, made the outfit. And when Cotty told me, she just sent me a picture of the jacket. I was like, that's so structured. I mean, this like fluffy, frilly looking, summer sundress looking thing. And she was like, trust me, it's going to be summer chic.
She's right. She's got great style. So
she has great style.
She always looks great in photos and puts herself together really well.
Always looks great. I just don't have that finish part.
Yeah.
I have the basics. I just don't have the finish.
It's a certain eye that can sort of, it's like sometimes you have to go against what you think to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me why, but you know, it's like the contrast and textures or the whatever the shapes and stuff. So
well, you have that too.
Yeah,
you have a
experiment.
Great eye.
That's how we get there. So yeah, I actually put this outfit together for something else a little while ago, and I was like, "This is so cute. I'm going to wear this to Lance podcast.
I love it,
and it'll look great on the sofa." So
it does. It's very summer.
I might blend into the background with the flowers. I don't know.
I think it looks great.
Thank you.
Wife of the Party is sponsored by HelloFresh. You know I'm a huge fan of HelloFresh because you know why? Because I'm busy, because I hate to cook. I hate to cook. But I like to cook. I just don't like to figure out what to cook. I don't like to buy what to cook. And I don't want to cook something that my kids and my husband don't like. So HelloFresh takes all the stress out of cooking because you get your meals in a box. Everything is fresh. Everything, all the ingredients are there. You have easy to follow recipe cards. Some of them only take 15 minutes, like maybe 20, and everything is delicious. You don't even have to think twice. Fall is right around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date, then lay back and enjoy the last days of summer knowing dinner is covered. And parents, you have enough back-to-school shopping and planning to do, so let HelloFresh get the groceries and save you some cash with pre-portioned meals delivered right to your door. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and less expensive than grocery shopping. You just choose your recipes again. You just choose your recipes, and you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so you can get cooking really quickly. Go to HelloFresh.com/50wife and use the code 50wife for 50% off plus free shipping. Go to HelloFresh.com/50wife and use the code 50wife for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, it's America's #1 meal kit. Wife of the Party is brought to you by DraftKings. I'm kind of excited about this new sponsor for me because I love to play on my phone. I love to play solitaire and blackjack, and DraftKings makes it really easy to play blackjack or roulette or slots right on your phone. You can step into a world of nonstop action on DraftKings Casino. Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots. Plus, enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers can get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. All you have to do is sign up, select the offer, make your deposit, and start playing from a full suite of games. Your way is the only way to play on DraftKings Casino. Play online on your time, in your space, and within your means. It's safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you're ready. Download the DraftKings Casino app now. Sign up with promo code WOTP, and new customers get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Casino with promo code WOTP. So no traveling for you for a while?
I don't think so. We were actually looking at going to Venice at the 1st of September for the Venice Film Festival because Rico's production company is trying to like move forward with getting content made, but it boiled down to feeling like a bit of a scam with what we got involved with the agent and an author. The author's legit, but the agent was coming up with all these expenses that Rico should pay for, and then she wanted the money wired to her to pay for the. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't wire money to somebody you don't know who won't sign a contract.
No.
So, and you know how this business can be. Part of it's faith, and part of it you have to do your due diligence, and it just wasn't adding up. So, as of last week, we pulled the plug on it. But I've got the tickets because we already bought our tickets to Venice. But it would have been our 4-year anniversary that we would have been there on, so it would have been so cool.
Oh, that would have
So
been amazing.
it'll happen next spring because I'm going to go to the Venice Biennale. So
The Venice what?
Biennale, it's an art festival. They do it every other year, and it goes for 6 months. And I know it's kind of bougie, but it's like I've always wanted to go see it and experience it. And so, I bought a piece of art from a gal at the LA Art Fair who had a gallery in Paris, and her artist is Kenyan, Thandui Miri. I can barely even pronounce the name, but a beautiful African American artist, and she may open the Kenyan Pavilion next year. So I want to go meet her, and I just want to like get to know people in that world a little bit more and stuff. So, because it's kind of like the movers and shakers kind of go there, and you never know who you're going to meet. Maybe you'll find somebody that will help finance your film, So
Yeah,
you don't know. So it's a great place to network and stuff too. So
that's great. Are you still
yeah.
painting?
I haven't painted much at all.
No.
I've got ideas for things, especially after going to Giverny,
Mhm.
as part of my art immersive for the birthday experience. I took a lot of photographs, and I see compositions that are interesting. But also what I learned about that was that we took a tour there, and it's all like a horticultural tour. So it's like when they plant those gardens every December, monochromatic over here, shades of red, analogous over here, and over here's another color palette. So it's all actually like very well planned out. So it looks like kind of like an English garden, a summery garden, but everything is sort of loosey goosey. And I'm thinking, how would I translate that into a painting in my style? And
Mhm.
that's the gist as an artist, right? To bring your own take on it. So I have ideas that I want to experiment with, but I don't have the time.
No
So,
time.
no.
Why
Yeah.
no time? Well, I guess now you're an
Well,
elected official
Yes.
and a business owner.
And also with the new website for the LBA, I'm taking all the photographs, I'm writing all the copy, daily emails. So, it'll hopefully be like a nice presentation of what's inside my brain,
Yeah.
and to hopefully, and hopefully they'll like it, because it goes by vote and stuff. They'll present it next week. But when I was at Giverny, the one thing that was interesting to me, which ties back to this thing, is there's a name for these trees that they cut that look like squares.
Mhm.
It's an Italian name. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? So you build a town that's a beautiful town, but it's like years of commitment to beauty. So I'm hoping with the LBA that I can kind of shift the focus a little bit to take a long look down the road in 10 years. How would you want the boulevard to look? What color palettes might we want to use? What kind of plantings? And try and direct the growth in a way, because everything grows. So if you can give people a growth direction and ideas as a visual artist, maybe they'll buy into it and go, oh, yeah, I like that idea. Because what I also learned on this trip, seeing La Sagrada Familia, Gaudi's big cathedral,
Mhm.
was he wasn't an architect. He was a designer, and
Mm.
he got people to buy into his design idea. 100 years later, they're still building the cathedral, and it's been a source of tourism for 100 years. So
Wow.
it shows how important vision is,
Mm-hmm.
and some people don't have vision. So
Mhm.
not that I'm Antonio Gaudi. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Well, you've
I see a
always had
pattern.
vision.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You open your own salon. You've always been a painter.
Yeah.
I mean,
You sort of see it, feel it, create it.
yeah.
So it's part of the artistic spirit, but hopefully with having a lot of Virgo in my chart, it makes me a very organized Gemini, so I can get stuff done. And the problem I have is taking on too much stuff. So
Yeah. You always have like eight plates spinning, it seems like.
look at this.
Always. Do you like my wife at the party? Coaster.
Those are so cute.
Speaking of 8 plate spinning, you see all the
Right?
things I'm juggling on that little thing?
That's awesome. I
It's
love it.
so cute. A fan made that graphic.
Oh, is that right?
She did.
I like
love
it. It's really cute.
Isn't it cute? And Halston had the coasters made for me for Christmas or my birthday or something. It was
You
really
may have
sweet.
to have more wife of the party merch.
More wine for the party merch.
I know.
You never know.
Got my art merch at the salon. It's doing well.
Is it?
Yeah, the coasters, the mugs, the notebooks. It's kind of fun, especially during the holiday season. People want something fresh and different. So
Yeah. And everything's so pretty.
yeah, thank you.
Do you still have the phone cases?
No, I got a new phone, but I didn't put it on the case.
Oh.
I should try, because
Mm.
when taking a selfie, when you got your own painting on your back of your phone, it's kind of fun. It gives it a little different twist and stuff.
They're so pretty too. They're
Yeah.
all flowers, aren't they? The
Well, and the last round has been a lot of birds. Yeah,
bird. Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
That's
I
right.
just did a commission for a client in February down in San Diego. She ordered a couple paintings, which was really nice.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's it's good to keep the art world moving. And stuff.
When did you start painting?
I started as a kid. I remember being 5 or 6 at the kitchen table copying a comic strip, and my mother looked at it. She says, "Oh, that's good. Did you trace it?" I said, "No, I drew it." She's like, "No, you traced it." "No, I drew it," and it was just like 25% bigger than the original. So I still have it somewhere. But that's my first foray into art. Mom painted, grandma painted. She did the old paint by numbers in the 60s, the oil paints and stuff. Then mom was an actual oil painter. So I grew up with it. So I painted kind of throughout my high school years and dropped it for a decade. And then when I came to LA, a friend bought me a paint set. I don't know why she thought I would enjoy it. And I jumped back in at 30
Wow.
and started painting again and just really kind of ran with it. And that's where all the reason for going to all the art stuff is, for me, I can learn by looking at other people's artwork.
Mm.
You look at the way it's layered, you look at, the overall theme of their paintings that they put together over a period of time.
Mhm.
And it kind of helps you understand an artist's voice and stuff. So I've got two different ways that I paint, one with a gouache paint and one with an oil paint.
Did you say gouache?
Gouache.
What is gouache?
Gouache is a water-based paint, and that's what graphic artists used to use before everything went digital.
Oh.
Yeah, so the colors are very opaque. They're kind of thick. You know how a watercolor is kind of watery?
Mm-hmm.
The gouache is really, really thick.
Mm.
And you can almost actually paint with it directly on paper, but you can also dilute it and thin it out a lot too. So like some of the paintings at the salon, you may notice look like a graphic screen print from the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
which I like that vibe. So the gouache is very flat versus an oil painting. Oil, you can paint really thin, you can mix colors, and you let it dry in layers.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can create roundness, like in the Marilyn Monroe portraits and stuff
Mhm.
like that, or people portraits. You can get the layers in there to make the skin look round and highlighted and low-lighted. But with gouache, you can't do that. Does Isla paint with gouache at all? Or
I've never heard of it, so I don't think so. She
Okay.
doesn't paint anymore because she's trying to kill her mother. I think she's so talented, and I have continually tried to get her to go back to painting.
uh
And she keeps saying to me that is too frustrating because what's on the canvas is not what's in her head.
got it.
She can't get it to be what's in her head. So she doesn't, so it makes her really frustrated.
Well, and it might be the medium of the paint she's using.
It could be, well, she's
You
done
know?
it with, she's tried it with pastels,
Uh-huh.
with watercolor, with acrylic, with oil, with charcoal.
Okay.
And she just keeps saying, I can't get it to look like what's in my head.
Wow.
And so before she just completely stopped painting, she was painting things and then throwing them out. And I would pull them out of the garbage and go, this is amazing. And she'd be like, I can't even look at it. I can't look at it. So I'm hoping that she grows a little patience with herself, or a little, gives herself a little bit of a break, because she definitely didn't get that level of criticism from me
Right.
where her painting's concerned, for sure. Because I just think everything she's done has been so beautiful.
Well, she has a really great eye, and also she'll always have a really great eye.
Mhm.
I mean, for the rest of her life, she'll have that. I mean, as an artist, once you have that, you don't lose it, and will sharpen with time, hopefully. So maybe at some point, maybe she'll find like a digital application that will let her get to what her brain sees.
Right.
When I do a painting, I have a point of view, or like something I'm trying to accomplish, but then at some point you have to let it go and let the painting take on its own life.
Uh-huh.
So it's hard to direct it to get it to always what's in your head.
Right.
And so sometimes you have to yield to the paint or to the image and let it just carry you to a new place. And that's kind of the beauty of it, because then you step back and it's almost like a trance, and you go, wow, that looks really cool. Oh, maybe it's not so great, but I'll look at it tomorrow, because the paint will dry, it will settle. You walk away, you come back and go, oh yeah, that looks actually better than I thought,
Right.
So patience with herself will help, but I think, and she can keep coming back to it too. She won't lose it by not using it.
I don't think she'll lose it. I just selfishly wished she hadn't stopped, because I have a hallway in our house full of her art.
Yeah.
I mean, she has like this like oil thing she did where she had water with oil on it and just dropped color in it.
Yeah.
And then put a paper on it and made this. It's so beautiful. It's yellow with reds and I think reds and greens in it. And
Is
I
she
framed it. It's gorgeous.
Is her feeling more ethereal in what she's trying to do in terms of like maybe non-formed? Or?
No,
Okay.
because she's all over the place. She
Yeah.
also got a canvas and like stuck crayons at the top and then melted the crayons and let them just drip down the canvas. And that's framed on my wall. She
That's
painted
so
the canvas
cool.
black
Uh-huh.
and then dripped the crayons down the canvas. Beautiful. She has a
Does-
pastel of two birds
Uh-huh.
on a branch. That's beautiful.
Does she get to go to many galleries around town or many art shows?
No, I
She needs
guiltily,
to.
I don't take her much.
You know, when the LA Art Fair happens, I think it's once or twice a year.
I
She
don't.
should go.
I should take her.
And I'll try and remind you when they come up, just to walk around and look.
Yeah.
Her brain will be on fire looking at all the different kinds of mediums and stuff.
Right.
Because she sounds like a contemporary artist, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that she's willing to experiment and not be locked in with a brush like I am
Yeah.
gives her brain a lot more room to conceptualize and stuff.
Right. No, she's definitely not. I think when I last asked her, I think her favorite medium was pastels.
Okay.
Where she loves to color with pastels. But she painted when she was in the 5th grade, maybe 6th grade. Somewhere in there, she painted, her cousin, Abigail, was going to college, and she wanted to paint a picture for her dorm room. And Abigail asked her to paint a picture of a tree. And she painted this picture. It was pretty big. It was probably maybe 36 inches by, maybe not quite that long, 24 by 24 canvas of this beautiful tree in autumn with every single leaf on this big like oak tree. And it's so gorgeous.
It sounds amazing.
That I was like, I don't actually want to give it to her. I actually am having a really hard time. And I was like, no, I painted this for Abigail. So we took a picture of Isla with the painting, and then had Abigail take a picture when she got the painting, and it hung in her dorm room. And now I think it's in her bedroom. But I was like, she's in 5th grade. Who has the wherewithal to do that and actually finish it? And, you know, that was a tree. That was oil.
Yeah. Oh, was it really?
I think it was oil.
In 5th grade. Good for her. I mean, because it's a little smellier. It takes more time to work with. It takes time to dry.
Yep.
But it's the most resilient too.
Yep.
Has she ever seen any of the most Monet stuff, like the ballet dancers that are made with pastels and stuff?
Yes, it's been a while.
Okay.
But yeah, I took her to see some of that somewhere. Okay. I've taken her to the Getty and to LACMA. And she's been to the Broad, and we went to the Museum of Modern Art. But it's all been a while, and she gets overstimulated.
Really?
She gets really overstimulated, and then starts like.
Oh, that's interesting.
And we just have to go. But it's been a long time. She's not this mature, so.
Yeah, it would be interesting to go to the LA Art Fair because it's such a broad swath of kinds of work. Some of it's like, and some of it's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see it coming back post-pandemic too.
Yeah.
But I know for myself, I'm like drawn from space to space to space because I want to see. It's like, you know, a party for the eyes, you know?
Yeah.
So for her, hopefully maybe she'll have more patience for seeing more stuff at some point then.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because what she got on paper in the time she was painting and drawing was just really good and really, really cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's super into interior design now, and that's really great too. It's another visual medium of art.
And I'm sure her visual acuity is probably really, really high.
It is. Yeah. She was working with the designer that I hired for this space. She let her intern with her, and she asked me if she could write her a letter of recommendation for college.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really great.
She was like, she's really, really good at just understanding space and understanding color. She's like, her understanding of color is pretty strong.
And that's amazing because it's intuitive.
Yeah, it is. I think
it's
for
not,
her,
you know, you can,
it
if you have the intuition, then you can train the rest of it around a little bit and stuff.
Totally.
Learn about what a monochromatic color palette is or analogous or whatever, and know when to use it and why you want to use it. But I remember even with her room when you guys were doing that at the house, she made really good choices in the bathroom too.
Yep.
That bathroom is beautiful.
That bathroom's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very kind of elevated.
Yeah.
It's got those beautiful cranes on the wallpaper, and it's really pretty. She did a great job.
Yeah.
She's an interesting little kid.
I know, it's fun watching her grow.
Right? I know you've
Seeing
been
her
cutting her hair for
blossom.
how long?
Yeah.
Forever. Her and Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia's haircut looked good.
Thank you.
How about that hair color?
How about that haircut? Well, it's kind of like it's like an amalgamation of things in summer, and she actually could go in and maybe highlight just the roots a little bit. But it's interesting how it faded. It's like all these different factors came together to make that hair color. So, yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a happy accident.
Yeah,
is what it looks like. Right? It doesn't look like an accident. It actually looks intentional.
Yeah,
but it's not what she intended.
Yeah,
but it looks kind of like a cool hip
It really
hair
does.
color, right?
Especially with the way it's kind of grown out this far, and then you get the lighter pieces down below, but then the roots kind of softened and went gold. I don't know if that's from being out in the sun in the summer
Yeah.
at the lake house and stuff. That may be
Yeah.
part of it too.
She's actually blonde.
Yeah.
You know, that's her natural hair color.
Yeah.
She was blonde her whole childhood.
That's true.
Not quite a towhead, but
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
She was really, really blonde. And so her hair lightens up so fast in the summer.
Yeah. And when you have that light base like that, it will do that.
Yep.
I mean, you're blonde in, a weekend.
Yep, she is. She's got
Yeah.
these two big streaks. I don't know why, these two big chunks just right down the side of her hair that are just, you can tell they're really blonde. And
Yeah.
she's got this like orange hue on top of it from whatever she dyed her hair with. But these two little streaks are super blonde.
I think she said she'd highlighted a couple chunks of her hair.
Did she?
Like 8 months ago, and that's what's grown out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it looks almost like an ombre or a balayage or something that's just like kind of midway down the hair, which is a very cool look anyway. So
It's very cool.
yeah, it looks good on her.
It's very thrift store hip,
Yeah, right.
which is, I think, the look she's going for. So
Yeah.
she got it. She's so funny.
Yeah,
We-
it's so fun to watch them become teenagers, and now she's looking like a young woman. Georgia is. It's like it's so
Yeah.
wild to watch the change before your eyes and stuff.
It is really weird. It is weird to Georgia was the sweetest child. She's still sweet as an adult, but a sweet adult is very different than a sweet child, you
Yeah.
know. She always wanted to sit in my lap. She was always in her dad's lap. She was very cuddly and really affectionate, but not needy. Just lovey. She was a very lovey little girl. And through her teenage years, she was not lovey. She did not want to. Nope, don't want a hug from you. Nope, not giving you a hug. Nope, nope, nope. And she's gotten back into being really lovey again. And it's kind of like what I said earlier. Did you not know something was missing until you found it?
Right.
I kind of didn't know that was missing until she started doing it again.
Oh, got
And
it.
it made me super emotional. This part of being a parent is so odd because I want them to not want me and I want them to want me at the same time.
Right, right. You
You
want them
know?
to be independent and strong and know who they are and be able to stand on their own 2 feet, which maybe going away to college has helped a lot with that too.
Yep.
So now she probably feels more, I don't know, maybe more secure to be herself and be more vulnerable around you guys as opposed to trying to be like an adult, prove herself.
Yes,
So
that's right. There's times when I want her to sit in my lap. And by the way, she's like 5 inches taller than me.
I know.
I'd have
She's-
to fold her in half.
I know she's like the tallest one in the family besides Bert.
She
is she as
is.
tall as Bert or taller?
No, she's only 5'7",
Okay.
but she's so lean
Yeah.
that you think that she's 5'9" or
Yeah.
5'10", but she's only 5'7". She just looks really tall. And
Yeah.
there's times where I go, if I could just scoop her up and just sit her in my lap and just sit there, I'd be
Yeah.
super happy. And then that you can't do that,
I know.
but I want to.
Well, it's funny because my stepson Isaiah is 21.
Is he?
But when he comes home to visit, and his mom comes to visit also, I mean, it's like they're 8, 9 again on the sofa, cuddled up, watching TV,
Oh,
and it's really sweet to watch. 'Cause he's a grown adult in the military, but he still likes his cuddle time with his mom and his dad. It's so they all cuddle up on the sofa, and I just watch this. I'm just like, this is just so different than how I was raised. It's such a different world,
Yeah.
So, but it's really sweet that they can still have that sweet connection.
It
so.
is sweet. I was a big lap sitter. I loved to sit with my dad. I was always with my dad when I was a little girl. I loved to
Wow.
sit in his lap and I loved to be right next to him until I was pretty old, actually. I was so connected to my dad. That I'm glad that our girls kind of did that too. It was really
Yeah.
special. It's really special. So anyway, I've enjoyed having Georgia home. We just yesterday planned when we're moving her back to college.
Okay.
And it made me really sad.
Oh, I'm
It's-
sorry.
It's like a month away,
I know,
but I'm still like, oh, it's over.
I know.
It's over.
That long summer has gotten really short.
You just
know?
got here. I just
Yeah.
keep feeling like you just got here. As that month on tour, we were on the bus together, barely saw her.
Really?
Barely saw her because she was working. She
Yeah.
worked her tail off all day. And then I was doing other things. and just barely saw her.
And I was so impressed by that they were on the bus working and being a part of the family business and stuff. I thought that was really awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause I
really
think-
proud of them.
And I think it helps them see what your life is like on the road and how hard Bert works and you work. I mean, it looks fun when you're on camera, but behind the scenes, and they will appreciate that more, I think, because they've had to put some sweat into it also.
I think you're
healthier.
right. I think for Georgia especially, it made her, for both of them actually, it made them see their dad in a very different light.
Yeah. Oh, really?
A very different light. I think they thought he just partied and had a blast all day long and didn't really see how ruthless just the sleep schedule is.
Yeah.
Being in a different city every day and having to perform at that level every single day in, day out, and all the people that come to him for questions they need answered to move forward for things. And I think it really did make them go, wow, my dad actually is working really hard and
working very smart
and is a boss.
Yeah.
And not just like birdie boy.
Yeah. Just party dad.
Yeah. Because
I learned that, watching Bert a decade ago when he was sat in my chair and would tell me some stuff and share some stories and stuff. And I was like, I just thought we were having like nice conversations. Then I realized he's trying out material. And because it would be in the show later on, I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm like a little test audience sometimes, and he's maybe working out in his head and stuff. And then, we have conversations that made me realize he knows who his audience is. He knows what will make them laugh. He knows how to take them to the edge of their comfort zone, bring them back. And I thought that's a smart comic. You know what I mean? It's not just getting up there and throwing some F-bombs and all that. I mean, you have to have a point to your story, and he's just a master at that. I love watching him. So
he is. He's really great. And you are a safe place. I'm not always a safe place because he'll tell me something and I'll go, I don't get it. That's not funny. But if he makes you laugh, then he feels like he's going to make a broader audience laugh. And
that's a good point.
I'll sometimes go, yeah, that was funny. And he's like, but you didn't laugh. And I'm like, well, I'm still thinking about what you said. That was funny. And it's not what he's looking for. He's just looking for someone to do that, to just laugh.
That's awesome.
And since you see him once a month,
yeah,
you're a regular trapped audience.
True. I love it. I love every minute of it. And it's a fine line for me to walk to give him his space to just sort of be where he's at and not ask too many questions because the nature of the relationship has changed with how busy he is and all that, But I'm just so happy for him, and it's really cool to see where it's all gone and this award. And tell me about the award. It's a Comedian of the Year award. By whom?
Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. It's a huge comedy festival in Montreal. It's been going on, I don't even know how long Just for Laughs has been around. It's been around a very long time. Back in the day when people had big network development deals, it was the festival where you came to be discovered. So people would walk away from that weekend or week, however long they were there, with like an ABC development deal.
Wow.
It has still remained a very prestigious comedy festival, and it is still a place where people get opportunities. The nature of the business has changed so much that the opportunities are very different now than they were back then. But I don't know who votes on Comedian of the Year or how that's determined, but it is a really big honor to be named that from that festival just because of the prestige of the festival.
And has he performed in Montreal?
Yes, he did a long time ago, and bless his little sweetheart. He had, in his acceptance speech, he cried through his whole speech, but in the speech, he talked about the last time he was there and no one knowing who he was and he being not very important and people walking by and not talking to him. And to go from that guy to this guy in that festival, what that meant to him. And it was really powerful. It was really powerful speach.
Full circle moment for him. Can I find that speech online somewhere?
I don't know. I think I sent it to our team, but I don't know if they've posted it anywhere.
Got it.
Wonder if you could find it on Just for Laughs website, maybe.
Okay, I'll have to look around for that.
Because they definitely filmed it.
But you guys will post it at some point.
We should. I don't know. I hadn't really.
Yeah.
It's a busy weekend. We went straight from there to the Blue Note Jazz Festival, which was amazing.
Wow.
Up in Napa. The promoters invited us to come, and we were like, well, yeah, of course we want to go. We ended up working the whole time, kind of researching for Fully Loaded for next year, going like, how do they do this? How do they do that? How
Isn't
do
it funny how you see things with different eyes when you're on the other side of it? Yeah.
It's
That's
pretty
really
powerful.
cool.
So yeah, we were expecting to go up there and just like enjoy some jazz and have some drinks. And we ended up just brainstorming business and networking the whole 2 days. We still enjoyed the music. I mean, it was, how could you not? It was wonderful music.
Yeah.
And we met DJ Jazzy Jeff, which was really cool. and
Means nothing to me, but okay.
You don't know who DJ Jazzy Jeff is in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I know.
Yeah, and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Oh, okay.
So when Will Smith was a rapper, Jazzy Jeff was his DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a legend to me, a legend.
Sorry.
But yeah, so, and we met a bunch of other people. It was really fun, but it was definitely a working weekend to go from one to the other.
Well, in that same point with like going to Europe for that 10 days that I went, watching, because now that I'm an elected official, I'm watching how they take care of things. It's like you come with a different set of eyes. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Who's cleaning? Why are they cleaning? How much? What does that cost? And somebody who's trimming the trees. It's like you sort of pay attention to the weird stuff that you wouldn't as a tourist, right?
Right.
But you're like, how are they maintaining this with all these tourists? It's like that's a whole level of commitment, a whole level of organization. So again, I saw it differently now that I'm an official.
Right.
So I could see where these events take on a whole new meaning and stuff too. Yeah. And also because Bert is somebody of note now, people are going to be coming to you guys too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of people who recognized Bert and a lot of opportunities there of like, hey, man, I'd love to work with you. And we were like, what? That guy? No way.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Well, it's so cool that you guys have your own thing going on. You know, you've got your podcast studios, you've got your business, and you guys have built it yourself and are reaping the rewards of it because now we've got this big strike, right? But you guys aren't beholden to that strike, really, right?
Well, we don't. We're not writing anything.
Yeah.
All this is all live.
Yeah.
Chit chat. You know, there's nothing written. There's no writers, no actors here.
Yeah.
No union.
Yeah.
No.
It's ownership. You guys, it's a self-owned business, and that's the really nice thing that you have the independence from what the industry is doing in terms of, well, there's this wave of money being made, no money being made because of the strike and all the things that are shut down because of that. You guys keep chugging right along. So it's nice to be in control of your destiny, you know?
Yeah.
And I encourage young people in entertainment to try and do the same thing. I know building a YouTube channel is hard and all that, but you guys have been proof that that works, you know? The 2 years it takes to monetize it, I don't know if that's changed now, but that hard work and consistency, you know, because I've got nephews that are going into they call themselves the ghost writers. It's like they're on motorcycles and they're going to haunted houses. They've only done 4 episodes, but I'm like, good on you guys, do it. You know, they live out in the middle of Washington, rural Washington. I'm like, you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it. If you think somebody comes to you with a contract, call me, Enrico. We'll look at things. Don't give away anything, but just blaze your trail and go. I said, I've watched my friends do this and they're doing so beautifully in the world. I'm like, just be committed to the process and keep building new content. And the world could be your oyster. You don't know.
Yes, that's so funny. I have a weekly call with Bert's manager every Wednesday at 8 a.m. And this morning, I was talking about some gossip from Just for Laughs. I was giving her a little gossip. And it was about someone being unhappy with their manager. Not with Bert's manager, just some other manager. And she said, you know, the flaw of most people is they're in it with a manager for a year and they go, well, nothing's happening. And they don't look at Bert's career where really things started moving like 15 years in.
Wow.
So
really? Wow.
he was, the whole time before that, we were working and working and hustling and working and working and working. But people are in it for a year and go, nothing's happening. I'm out. That's not the nature of when you built your salon. Did it happen in 1 year?
Yeah, it was a slow roll.
Yeah, it takes
a
minute.
Sort of accidental. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be a big fancy salon. I just wanted a place to work by myself and be artistic. And part of the salon was my art studio at the time. I don't know if you remember that. I was drawing and drafting things from UCLA when I was in the program there. And it was just like my little workspace, but it grew over time. And I popped in one Sunday coming back from Palm Springs, and it's like, the salon was full of people. I'm like, I didn't know my salon was busy on a Sunday. Makes me a lousy business owner, right? But I'm like, there's a vibe happening here. I just was checked out, you know? So I was like, I came back and tried to pay attention and sort of wrangle that and keep building the brand, you know?
Yeah.
And my husband has his production company, and it's good to hear you talk about that because he's trying to like make it be something more than it is. You know what I mean? It's like you find the projects that you can do and stuff, and you hope that it pays off, but there's never a guarantee. But when I get frustrated, I remember it took me 40 years to find my dad.
Right.
I'm like, if you can do that, you can do
Right.
anything.
You can. It's the truth.
You know what I mean? So
That is the truth.
commitment.
That's right.
So-
And just knowing that nothing happens overnight. I had an acting teacher in New York that used to say, it takes 10 years to be good at anything.
Yeah.
It takes 10 years to be a good plumber.
Yeah.
It takes 10 years to be a good hairdresser. It takes
Yeah.
10 years to be a good electrician.
Yeah.
It takes 10 years to be a good actor.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to spend the next 10 years just learning,
Yeah.
then go find something you're willing to learn for 10 years. And I was like, that's a great way of putting that.
Yeah.
So what would I be willing to learn for 10 years? What would that be? You know, is
Yeah.
it wine? Should I wait tables and learn wine over the next 10 years and become a sommelier? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what? Because that's where your joy
Yeah.
lies, and money then just follows.
It does follow.
Yeah, money comes when you're in your joy.
Well, in 45 years of doing hair, because I started when I was 15,
It's crazy.
I've been trying to get out of the business for forever, right? So that's why I go take an acting class. I'll go take an artist class. I'll go take the design stuff. It's like I keep doing all these other things to try and get out of the business. But what it's done is enriched the business.
Yeah.
Gives me more to talk about, more people to meet, more people to bring into my world. And it was a weird way of being successful by continuing to broaden the horizon and just kind of bring more creative conversation back to the salon and back to the chair. But
Right.
you know, but now maybe I'll be the next, look how Biden, there's a new young guy in town and I'll be climbing the political ladder. Who the hell knows what
Who the
future
hell knows?
has?
And does it matter?
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
And and I know you already think this way, but your salon allowed you to have all these joyful things.
Yes.
So then to have joy in your salon, even though it's maybe not, you're trying to get out of it,
Yeah.
that has given you the opportunity to have all these other joyful things.
Yeah.
That's the way I had to look at my waitressing jobs. When I was writing.
Okay.
I don't want to be a waitress.
Yeah.
It's the hardest job. It's one of the hardest jobs ever.
Yeah.
You have to completely keep your mouth shut when someone's an asshole. You have to multitask and manage 8 different things going on at one time. It's always a hustle. You're selling, right? It's top level customer service. It's just a really difficult job, waiting tables. But I would show up every day and go, thank you for this job, because I can make in 20 hours a week what it would take me 40 hours a week to work in an easier job. And that extra 20 hours a week, I can write. So thank you.
But think about it also. What you were doing then is what you're doing now on a different level.
Oh, totally.
Right? I mean, it
Yeah.
totally set you up for the future.
Yes.
Running all these different shows, working behind the scenes with Bert.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like you're multitasking in a huge way.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake. This pressure, the stakes are high,
Yep.
but you can handle all these things because when you're on your feet like that at the restaurant, you're right. I mean, you're seeing the people come in the front door. You got so much going on. And if you can master that and not collapse,
Right.
it gave you a great skill set for this world that you've got.
It
So,
totally does.
yeah.
Anybody, I think every single person should have to wait tables for literally 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, or go in the army.
Right.
One of the two. You should join the military or wait tables, because waiting tables in a fast-paced restaurant.
Yeah.
Not in a. I worked in only. I only worked in high-end, fine dining. That's all I ever did.
Okay.
So there's a lot of pressure in fine dining for everything to be excellent. Everything has to be excellent. Like I worked in this
That's-
one restaurant where if the head maitre d' or someone from the management staff walked through the restaurant and a water glass was more than half empty, they would fire the waiter on the spot.
Jeez.
So you could not let a water glass get more than half
God.
empty. And that's
you're
not to
running,
mention the
yeah.
wine and the
Yeah.
courses and the bussing of the table and
Wow.
can I have more butter and can I have more butter and how about the salt, and you're running and running and running to get all this stuff done. And when you go to the back of the house, invariably every head chef is a lunatic. Some of them are quiet and controlled. Some of them scream. Some of them wait and sit on their lunacy until the shift is over and then kill you. I never worked with any every restaurant I worked in, the head chefs were just insane people. But I think that nature of that business are people who can't conform.
Got it.
Because it's an art and science
Yeah.
together craft, and they just can't conform to like rules and normalcy. They don't have normal hours. They work in intense situations, and they have to be art and science at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's just very, I mean, I worked in one kitchen that was silent. So
That had to be eerie.
It was so crazy because when you walked from the front of the house to the back of the house, you could hear pots and pans and stuff moving. There's no speaking.
Wow.
The expediter spoke
Mm-hmm.
to the chef, and that is it.
By design, that's the way it was?
Yes, that's the way the
Wow.
head chef wanted it. The expediter spoke to the chef. And so I would walk in, and if I needed something like so-and-so changed from medium rare to medium well, I would have to write that, and then I'd have to wait until it was read, and then he would let me know if I could speak to him if he had further questions. I could not speak in that kitchen.
That's hilarious.
I made so much money in that restaurant because it was a really high-end, like 5-star LA, really big restaurant.
I think I might know which one that is on La Cienega.
No, that was not that one.
Oh, okay.
No, this one is no longer there, but it was the #1 restaurant in LA for a very, very long time. And if you think about it, you probably find it as close to Larchmont. It was on oh shoot, what street was it on? I don't remember. I'll tell you later. It's no longer there.
It's funny. That's how I got my start too, was waiting tables.
Was it?
Oh yeah. I worked at a Chinese restaurant in Port Orchard, Washington. It's still there. I think it was called the Jade Palace. It may still be called the Jade Palace.
The Jade Palace.
Second floor with a view of the ocean or the Puget Sound. I worked there for quite a while, then went to a hotel in Bremerton, Silverdale area that was like the high-end place in the whole town. So I remember being so depressed having to work New Year's Eve one time, and I was just livid as I was putting out the things and stuff. But that's how I paid for beauty school. So, you do what you got to do, right?
You do what you got to do.
But people service, customer service, you learn it there, and it comes through into the salon. So,
and to maintain composure under pressure.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things, especially in fine dining.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard. One day when I was working at Lowry's on La Cienega, Larry Flint came in one day. And he had some kind of paralysis on part of his face. And so when he talked, he would spit.
Oh my God.
He would spit a lot. And he was not talking very loud, and that was a loud restaurant.
Yeah.
So I remember having to get really close to him, and he just freaking spit all over me. And I remember going, this job is not worth what I have just gone through. He just completely spit all over me. He was asking me for coffee, black. And we went black and just went blah. I was like, oh my God. But he would come in a lot. And I would just, every time they got in my section, I'd be like, shit.
Did he remember you? Was he?
No, he never remembered me. He was never... He was not nice, but he was not familiar. He was not, because his offices are like 1 block away.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he would just come up and eat, but he would order a Seagram's and 7. So Seagram's and 7-Up, right? And as soon as I'd hit the bar, someone from his table would come and say, just 7-Up.
Oh,
he
really?
won't know the difference, just 7-Up.
Oh my God.
So I'd just give him 7-Up, and he'd be totally drunk by the end of the meal. I'd just give him 7-Up, just 7-Up, and it was Seagram's and 7.
So he sort of acted drunk? Or
Yeah,
he thought he was
I think
drunk?
it was some sense memory thing that would kick in where he'd be drunk by the end of it, and I was just giving him 7-Up.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my God. Maybe he's over there spiking it. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe.
Who knows? I don't know.
That's possible. Actually, I never thought of that. My little linear, innocent brain was like, he's just drinking 7-Up. He's completely hammered.
Maybe they knew that he was going to add to it, so they're like, let's start with just the basic 7. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point. I never really thought
Any
about
assistants out there who worked for him? Like, call me. Let's have a talk.
Hit me up. I need to know about Larry Flint. Yeah, he spit freaking all over me every time he came in. But what do you do? I mean, partly it wasn't his fault. He's disabled, and he was incapacitated a little bit.
Yeah.
and you just have to keep going
That's right.
and just wipe your face
And
off.
just bring a little plastic mask to the table when you came in. Sorry, I hit the mic.
A fan.
I'm here.
We've added kabuki to our.
I just need your DNA right here. We're going to run it and see who you're really the father of.
Exactly.
Hey, ancestry, I got a vial for you.
Right. But I don't know. I think
That's
everybody should wait tables
funny.
for a year.
Yeah.
I think they should.
It gives you a lot more patience and a lot more appreciation.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I remember in the 80s in Seattle at a really fine dining restaurant, like the salon owner took us all out to this big fancy place, and it was like the place in Seattle. And I was wearing black leather pants and, you know, the 80s and something else. And the waiter comes to the table with 13 glasses of water and leans over me
Oh, no.
and drops the whole tray down my back. It was hilarious because I was just like, shit happens. What are you going to do? And so I wasn't phased, and I had leather on, so it kind of rolled off, right? But I went to the bathroom and they make a big fuss over it and trying to dry me off. And I'm like, really? It's no big deal. It's okay. You know, you get wet at the shampoo bowl. When I walked back into the restaurant, everybody applauded me for being so cool. I'm like, what are you going to do? I was like, what's done is done. It's not intentional. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit happens. So
it does.
But that little bit of kindness went a long ways for the waiter because they felt so bad for the whole night. You know,
Of course.
What are you going to do, you know?
And most people would not have reacted that way.
Yeah, well, it's too bad, but
That is too bad.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't on purpose.
yeah.
Poor little guy.
So, I know, right?
Poor little guy. So you don't know when you're going to see your dad again?
I don't. I'll see him sometime this year. I'm just not sure when.
Just not sure.
I'm sort of waiting to see what happens with Rico. Oh, that's right. And Isaiah and the rest of the family also, because Rico's family's in Chicago. So I don't know how it's all going to play out. I know Isaiah's going to come home to be with us in November.
Okay.
So I love that little guy so much. So I'm just like, I got to see him also. And part of it likes to go back to Seattle to see my family because that's where I grew up. But Ohio in the middle of winter wasn't so bad. I was there during the big storm this last year.
Oh, yeah?
And so I drove mom and dad around everywhere and, you know, took them out because it was like that big storm that they closed the freeway and stuff. So knowing that I might go back, I got there before the storm happened. So if I were to go at Christmas, you just never know what you're going to get. But it was a lot of fun. Oh, and I got to meet an uncle that day too. So one of my uncles, who's my closest DNA match on Ancestry.
No way.
I'd been emailing him and I never got a response. And I just was like, who's this Joseph guy, you know? So he walked in the kitchen and is like, I'm your Uncle Joe and I'm on Ancestry, but I've lost my password. And I was like, oh, okay. And so you probably saw the picture of us at the dinner table, but it was weird how much we looked alike in the photographs. And it's so weird to be a piece of a puzzle that you drop it in somewhere and it fits so beautifully. You see people that you look like, you know, the whole food thing and the great skin. So he's actually almost my age, my uncle, because he's my youngest brother. My dad was second youngest. So again, this discovery process over the years has been really cool. But it's like I want to take my uncle and go on a trip to Europe because nobody in the family has been to Italy or to Croatia.
Wow.
And I'm like, somebody's got to do this and go do like a pilgrimage to see where we came from and stuff. So I kind of want to do that like in a year and a half. So we'll get there.
You'll get there.
We'll get there.
Especially if you have your Uncle Joe and he's younger and probably feeling better.
Yeah.
Excuse me, for travel. I know it would be amazing to find someone who looks like you.
It's a trip.
You know?
Yeah. And I see where the good skin comes from in the family too.
Right.
Because he doesn't look his age either. So, and he was super good looking when he was young also. So, it's neat to have, and also I've got all these male cousins I didn't know I had. You know, so my nephew, I think his name is Gavin. I get all the kids mixed up because there's so many kids.
Right.
But he looks a lot like my new cousin Andy and his brothers. So there's like a certain male look with the head shapes and the noses, and I see it on certain guys in the family. So it's weird to see how this gene pool passes this thing down from generation to generation. And I grew up in a family of all women. So my mother's eyes, my sister's eyes, my niece's eyes, they all have that same look. They kind of look like family. So it's interesting to go from all that female energy to all this male energy. And I'm still meeting people and stuff. But in fact, I have to tell you a story about Christmas time. Joanne took us to her sister's house and I showed up. And of course, you're a star when you walk in everywhere because everybody's heard your story, but they sort of want to hear it firsthand. And this gal, I think it was the mother or the mother-in-law, she's around 80 or so, and she's sitting there in the kitchen. She's like, you know, I heard about this story. And I thought, oh, there's no way this could be real. I mean, this ancestry stuff, it's no. And she was like poo-pooing the whole thing. And then she's like, but then I saw your picture. And there's no denying your family. So we sat there in the kitchen and talked about it and found out she's on Ancestry and one of the kids is on Ancestry. I said, do it and see where it goes. You got nothing to lose. You might learn something about yourself, about your family. And I sound like an ad for Ancestry, sorry. But I mean, it was a great segue into having conversations with people that they might not normally have.
Right.
You know, and to maybe re-question what family is, and to maybe take a fresh look at what family is.
Right.
You know, so it was one guy at one of the parties was kind of like, well, I asked my dad, is there anybody think I should know? Because he's estranged from his father also. And was just like, you know, because he was getting married and was going to have kids. And I said, you know, think of your dad as the gatekeeper. You don't have a relationship with him. Fine. You can surpass that, do the DNA stuff, and find out a lot more about what you really need to know. It's like, oh, yeah. So I felt like I was out there like stretching minds and stretching perceptions, which was really cool. It made me feel like I had value, like I was giving them something good, you know, and my story enriched somebody else's life. So that made me feel like this is the awesome part of this whole thing, you know?
Yeah, the purpose was bigger than just your purpose.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And maybe someone listening can be inspired too to just check out Ancestry. What do you have to lose?
Yeah. You know, and also I went into this thinking about what it meant to me, but I never thought about what it would mean to them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you think it meant to them?
I've changed some lives. I mean, Dad always wanted to have a son, and also he had a palm reader who told him he had a fourth kid 30 years ago. And
no way.
He, you know, he got married to Joanne and they couldn't have kids. So I think maybe he thought it was a bunch of malarkey or something. But then I show up, you know, 30 years later. So it was funny that the palm reader had it right, but they're not friends. He can't call and chat with her today, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know fully what it means to them. I mean, but it has been like a love fest. It's been so great. And I know it's a rare story because I talk to people who have other stories that aren't so nice, but, and they have welcomed me and my husband like nobody's business. So
that's amazing. That's really powerful. But you draw to you what you put out. You know that. And it's not shocking, being who you are, that your genetic family would be the same. That's not shocking.
Yeah.
Not just physically, but on the inside too. Because some of that's nurture, but I don't know. A lot of it's kind of nature.
Yeah, it's true.
It's your nature.
I thought I could get through this thing without crying.
Oh, well, here's a tissue.
Well, a fun story with my dad was in the car with me when we were coming back from San Clemente. And Rick was in the car in front of us with the girls and stuff. And it was... we drive really fast. We're in the carpool lane, and somebody cut me off and it got between me and Rick, and I was like, son of a bitch. And Dad goes, son of a bitch, right on cue. I thought, oh my God, I am a chip off the old block. I love it, you know? And then when they finally get out of the way, he goes, about time, you dumbass. I thought, oh yes, this is my dad.
That's amazing.
Because I'm the same way in traffic. I'm swearing up a storm, and it was just so cute to see the similarities. And in one of the weirdest little ways. And also the other thing, Leanne, that was really cool was when we were having dinner at one of the restaurants and he paid the bill with his credit card and I watched him write Thomas John Dugan. And I was just like, that's the name I spent my lifetime looking for. And there's the man writing the name.
Oh my God.
It was just a little moment that I was just like, you won't forget. You know what I mean? So
that's so powerful,
it
Romi.
was something else, you know?
That's really,
because you've got the mystery and the wonder in your mind. Here's the reality, you know? So yeah.
The reality is wow, my brain just went blah. The reality is that's the love you look for.
Yeah.
For your whole life from a parent.
That's true.
That's what you want from a parent your whole life. I had that love from my dad from the day I was born.
Wow.
Just fucking loved whoever I was in that moment.
What a gift.
It was a gift.
You know?
What a gift you got.
Yeah.
To have it even for 10 years.
I know.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a huge gift and you so deserve it.
Yeah,
You're such a lovely, we all deserve it.
We do, you know.
Every person.
And it makes it easier to pay it forward.
Uh-huh.
Understanding that cycle and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why, you know, I wouldn't let Joanne say no to coming out to LA when obstacles came up. I'm like, no, you need this trip as much as he does. It's like, this is going to mean a lot to the both of you. And it's like, I'm here to make sure this happens.
Yeah.
So.
Bless your heart. That's so great, Romi. I'm so happy for you. I couldn't be happier for you. No one deserves it more than you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind.
And you have this whole big family. It's just love, love, love.
An Italian family
An Italian family.
who knows pasta.
Thank you, finally, right?
Dad says to me at the restaurant at Christmas, he's like, I passed on the peppers. He's like, how the hell are we going to make an Italian out of if you won't eat the peppers? I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in a movie. This is so beautiful. I didn't say that to him. He'll hear it now. But I just like, it was like one of those moments because you wonder, am I Italian? Yeah, not if you don't eat the peppers, you're not Italian. So
That's so great.
hilarious.
Well, if he comes out again, I'd love to meet him.
I would love
If
that.
that's
too.
okay. I would have loved to have gone to
Yes.
Formosa, but obviously we were
Yeah.
on tour. We weren't here, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy for
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And thank you for sharing all of this
Yeah.
with me and my audience. And
No, I appreciate it. May change more lives. We don't know. It's a ripple effect,
100%.
Yeah.
And it breaks I've heard people who found people through Ancestry and it hasn't been great. And
Yeah.
that breaks my heart
Yeah.
because there's enough love in the world for everybody.
And there's enough hope.
Yeah.
Don't give up on the hope until you know for sure. And if the hope isn't there, okay, but now you know. And you
Yeah.
can let it go and keep moving on with your life,
Totally.
So get the question answered too.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
a relief.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Yes, thank you.
I love you, Romi.
I love you. I'm
Of-
glad you're part of my life and I'm glad I'm part of your world. So
Same. Thank you for having us be a part of yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Till next time.
Till next
Next
time.
time you have to come on with Rico.
Okay, he would love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
He would love it. He will talk your leg off. He has got the biggest heart, as you know.
And the best smile.
Best smile.
He's got a great smile. You guys were such a hit at our New Year's Eve party.
Oh, is that right?
Every person was like, who were the guys?
Who are the gay guys?
Who was the guy that was dressed in the tuxedo jacket with the cool t-shirt? I was like, that
Aw.
was Romi. That was my hairdresser.
Aw.
Who was he with? That's his husband. That's his husband. Oh my God. Adorable. And who were the other two? That's the husband's son and the son's mother.
Yep.
And they're like, oh my God, mind blown, mind
I
blown.
know.
Those are amazing people. So you guys were such big hits.
Very
New Year's
modern
Eve.
family, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's what family is. Who gives a shit?
I know.
That's what family is. Family is what it is.
That's right.
And that's all there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very lucky. And Sarah, their mom, has welcomed me with open arms. She loves having two husbands. She gets the best of both worlds that way. So
She's lovely.
yeah, that's right. Of course,
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah,
Lovely
yeah,
person. I mean, expect nothing less.
yeah,
Right? Because Rico's so great. How could he not be with a
yeah.
not lovely person? He have to be
He
with
chooses
someone.
great people for his life in general too. So he handpicks his favorites, and yeah.
Well,
So
let's have both of you next time.
I would love that.
Okay. Until
Okay.
next time.